Now that we got all the parts disassembled, we can start assembling everything. First thing we're going to start doing is putting these 7 little ball bearings onto this 2mm screw that has a 1.5mm Allen. So on the face of the inside of this surface right here, we will be putting these ball bearings. But first thing we got to do is apply some grease onto the screw to keep the ball bearings in place. So this is the MIP grease. So with a little bit of grease on here, on this point, I can start picking up the ball bearings and applying them. So you should add a little bit of extra grease when you're done. Now this cup right here will go onto the shaft. Look, I lost a little bearing. Oh no. There we go. It's rotating nice and smooth. No ball bearings are missing now. So the next thing that will go on is one of the bearings. Like so. So something to take a note of is you have a pressure plate and the cup, and they're both notched. So when they're together, they make a hole. So we'll be lining those up whenever we go to put them together. So on top of that spring is a spring washer, or on top of that bearing is a spring washer that goes next. The direction of this is very important. This side, right there, of the spring washer should go towards your bearing. Okay. So the next thing that goes on is your pressure plate. They call it the Diff hub. But this is where you apply the pressure onto your diff. So while you're putting this together, make sure you don't lose any of your ball bearings, because it's very easy to push this back too far and lose a ball bearing. There we go. So the next thing is, this right here is just a washer. They call it a diff ring. The diff ring gets a little bit of grease on it, this silicone grease. I want a little bit more on there. Alright. So this is your gear. Like I said earlier, make sure it's nice and smooth all the way around. If you feel a little bump, you can shave it back down, because that's where the gear was onto the little T assembly, whatever you want to call that, when they were put together. Again, make sure you don't cut your gears. There we go, nice and smooth. So there is a direction on here. I don't think it matters which way you put it on, but it does show this ridge going towards the assembly you just put together with the bearings. Like so. So the thing that goes on next is going to be, I forget how many there are. Where is it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these other ball bearings. But before you put those on, it'd be good to get some differential grease onto the gear right here on the inside, where all these bearings go. That will help keep them in place. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. There we go. You don't have to get crazy with the cheese whiz. Just put enough on there to help hold them in place. There's one. Two, three, four, five, seven, 8, 9. So now you just push them around to the different holes. Sure, there's other people out there that make this look a lot easier, but I'm not one of those guys. All right. Skirt. I think I just put 2 in one hole. Nope. All right, there's 1 in each hole. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Looking good. So next thing that goes on is another spring plate. Oops. If I put that on there, I need to apply some grease to it. So far, so good. All right, now you want to go ahead and put this little nut into the cup. But before you do that, I would apply just a little bit of the Diff grease inside here. Because when you go to put this in the cup, it goes upside down and that nut could fall out pretty easily. But that grease being in there will actually hold it in place. Well, once you get it in there. See, now I can turn it upside down and it will not fall out because this goes inside the cup like that. See, there's your screw on the other side. My little cup is what keeps that nut from rotating and you go to make adjustments on your diff. And again, got another spring washer. Pay attention to the direction you put it on. Oops, son of a gun. This is where I like to take and put this on the other side to hold this tight, so you don't lose those little bearings that you put on at the very beginning. Now you put the bearing on. And then you put this little thing on, this little cup. So once you get it started, you can take and switch out the Allen key, put it on the other side to keep this ball from rotating. And then you take your 1.5, put it over here, start tightening it. And you'll feel it bottom out, right? And you're like, okay, it's tight. Now you take it, back it up a quarter of a turn. And now your ball diff is set. You should feel it get a little tight. And if it doesn't feel tight enough, you can always put your Allen in there and just tighten it up slightly. This should slip. The gear should slip slightly on there. Sometimes you need to tighten it and loosen it a little bit to get everything settled down inside there. Because you gotta think, you just assembled all this stuff and it's all got a little bit of spring tension on it, but not enough. So that's pretty tight. Don't get crazy with it, don't crank it down. That's it, quarter of a turn. Now you can adjust this tighter and looser. See, right now it's a little bit too tight. I can't spin it. But you can adjust it to your driving style, because you'll hear like what sounds like the transmission or gearbox going out, and that's because this is too loose. See, now it rotates. That's all you need. Now your diff is built. You can install it later. Watch out for my next video to show you how to install this into your gearbox in the back. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you don't like my videos, I don't care. But if you do, please like and subscribe, and I will do my best to teach you more information. Thank you.